Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to share with you the 6 Instagram mistakes that I did when I first started out and no one warned me about. So when I first started my Instagram journey, I would watch a lot of videos, I would read to a lot of articles that said what you should and what you shouldn't do, but basically all that advice revolved mostly around the quality of photos, that posting times, engaging with other Instagrammers and commenting on their photos, and so the big kind of red flags out there. That is not to say that that's not important. I'm just saying that everyone is telling you that, and it's very easy for a young Instagrammer to kind of get these tricks and tactics just by going one day on YouTube and watching several advices and hacks how to start on Instagram. So that's why I decided not to do the big flags, not to give you hacks on something that everyone else is talking about, but just talk about my personal experience and my 6 mistakes that are not really obvious for a new starter, but could really make a difference for your Instagram account. And it could really be the reason why you're not growing or why you're stagnating. So make sure you watch all the video until the end, because each and every one of these tactics could be the reason that if you improve, could make your channel blow up. Also, if you like what I'm sharing with you, make sure you follow me on Instagram, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on the bell notification sign so you never miss a video that I share. So let's dive in. Number 1 for me was over editing photos. It's very easy when you're just starting out to wanna kind of portray yourself as an experienced Instagrammer, and I would always see these amazing feeds with either a rose hue or a blue or a brownie hue. They seemed very well edited, so I didn't really know where to go and what to do. I just knew I wanted to make my photos look edited, because for some reason in my mind I thought that's what will kind of give the signal that I'm starting to use Instagram more seriously, when in fact it wasn't the case. And if you see some of my earlier photos, it just looks so over the top, so edited, with the shadows, with the contrast. I was starting to do the editing just by using my normal iPhone edit options, but I would overdo it, and it takes away from, you know, the fun in the photos, the natural vibe in the photos. The trick that I later learned is, yes, it's nice to have a uniform, you know, overlay and a filter for all your photos, but you need to try and make it as natural as possible, so you edit without showing the viewer that you're over editing, if I make sense, because they want to see something natural. Of course, it has to be appealing, so if you want to lighten it up, that's okay, but don't overdo it. Not necessarily an over edited photo or very filtered photo shows the signal that yes, she's doing this professionally, but it can sometimes be like, that's not very tasteful, I don't want to see more of this person, so I'm not gonna follow her or him. So that's my number 1. My number 2 was using the wrong filter. And this is something that is very easy to get into, because of course, as a young, just starting Instagrammer, you go out there, you check very big experienced Instagrammers. For example, my kind of idol is Lorna Lux. And if you, I'll include the link to her channel in the description. And if you check out her photos, her feed has very much this beige, brownie kind of vibe. She includes a lot of white backgrounds. She also includes a lot of white, black, beigey outfits that she wears. And that's why her filter and her feeling is a bit brownie and creamy. But that's because it works for her and the way she takes photos. She normally takes her photos around Notting Hill, around Kensington, so very white houses, backgrounds, buildings, or if she travels to Paris, she tries to find this kind of brownish backgrounds often, or white backgrounds. So most of her photos are with the same kind of background and aesthetic. That's why this filter works for her. For me, I tried it in some photos and it didn't work at all, because I was traveling a lot, I was going a lot to the States, Miami, San Diego, also throughout Europe, But even in London, I wouldn't necessarily go and take photos with the same backdrop. My backdrops are more colorful. So for me, that brownie kind of overlay and filter totally ruined my photos. And the same could be your case as well, because imagine if you live somewhere coastal like Barcelona or LA, lively, you have a lot of oceany, bluey, turquoise kind of vibes. It doesn't make sense for you to use this filter. So not just because it worked for Lorna and it blew up her account doesn't mean it's gonna work out for you. Also, you have to plan ahead as well. You have to ask yourself, well, if I use this filter, can I truly commit to always using it, always finding similar types of color of my outfits, like white, black, beigey? Can I find similar backgrounds, white, beigey, brownie? Will it make sense for me to commit to using this filter? Because obviously we all know by now, and that's the number one thing, you want to make your feed universal and unified and choose one filter to use on all the photos, but the question is which one. So I would say for this one, don't go and look at the most experienced Instagrammers, because first of all, they have the means to always go for the same kind of feel. But if you're someone whose lifestyle doesn't allow that, if you're someone that lives in a completely different city that doesn't have a lot of these backgrounds, or just the way you dress yourself, your aesthetic doesn't really go with the colors that they use in their outfits, then just go and search what filter works best for you. And it's okay if you change. I've changed several times the aesthetic of my feed. I would use a couple of months one filter, and maybe during summer I would use something else, something lighter. My point is, never go after and try to imitate some experienced blogger. Just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Okay, mistake number 3 that I made when I first started out. I basically went out and researched what other people were using as their caption, and oftentimes I would find this very good, fashionable, stylish quote, and I decided, okay, I'm mostly posting about fashion and lifestyle. I'm gonna make all my captions quotes from famous fashion designers, fashionistas, and what that made me was literally a Barbie that is brainless, doesn't have anything to say. She's just copying and pasting other people's quotes and posting photos of her in different outfits. And that's the last thing you want to portray yourself as. I wasn't aware of what I was doing because I was thinking, oh yeah, well, it works for that person. Of course it was for her. It's Kim Kardashian. She is a famous personality. People already know her. They've seen her in her shows. They know what she's all about. So even if she posts a generic caption like that, everyone's gonna like it because they don't need to get to know her. But for a new starter, for someone who's just starting, trying to find their voice, trying to find their audience, trying to get people to like you and follow you, you have to really speak out and portray your own voice. Because yes, it's sometimes fun when fitting to use such a quote. And I'm not saying not use it, but don't make this your tactic and habit. Find out your own words. And then halfway through my journey, my best friend Dil, who's always been my biggest critic and advisor, she just said, well, listen, Mary, I know you already started doing this and posting just fashionable, stylish captions and quotes from people with your outfits, but I think you are doing yourself a disfavor because you're not showing the world who you truly are. And she told me, like, you're a funny person, you have so much to say, you have so many jokes, your days, you're amazing. Why not share that in your captions? Just start by saying, oh my God, today this and this happened. Like, don't go on a rumble necessarily, but include more of yourself and your world in your captions in order to kind of get people to like you and follow you, because they want to get invested in your journey, in your story. The reason why someone follows you is not because you posted a great outfit. There is tons and tons of great quality content from big influencers, big fashionistas, celebrities. They have the best outfits, they have the best crew, best quality, so you can't beat them if you're just starting out and you're a normal person like me. What you can do is show your true self, your true character, show them your pain points, show them your, daily satisfactions and disappointments, and they will get invested in your journey. Number 4, and this was the big one for me, not sharing enough stories. So when I first started out, I thought that the less stories you share, the better. Like I would limit my stories per day to 1 or 2, just because I didn't want to be boring to people. I was like, oh, I don't want to be one of those people that shares 20 stories, but I was completely missing the point. Because yes, you don't want to post about every single detail of your life and every single minute. You don't want to post about what you're eating and what you're doing this minute and what, but you just want to get people interested in your life. And just by posting one vague photo of an outfit doesn't really necessarily give them the insight into who you are. Even from the same outfit, like I will mention Lorna Lux again. She posts several different angles, several different photos, different poses. So you really get the feel like you're there with her when she's posing, and it's this angle, that angle, works like this. She's, whatever outfit she's doing, she's working it and posting several photos of it. Also, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, if it's something you want to share with the world to let them know who you are and what your day is all about or what your trip is all about, it's good. So there is this balance of not literally sharing every single detail, because sometimes it can be too much, but also don't be afraid to share more. I would say very famous Instagrammers can get away with sharing more than 20 stories a day, just because people are genuinely interested in what they do. For new starters, I would recommend start with around 10 stories a day. Don't make this something that you must do. If you don't have anything to share, don't necessarily share stupid things like, okay, I'm watching a TV show. But if you have something to share, don't limit yourself like I did at the beginning, thinking, oh, well, people are gonna get bored and unfollow me. No, you're just showing them who you are, and that's a reason more why people are getting interested in your journey, in your life story. We're down to the last 2 mistakes that I'm gonna share with you. So, mistake number 5, not being your true self. If you've seen my other video about how I started my Instagram journey, you'll see that the way it started is because I was opening an online clothing store. So I was taking a lot of these fancy photos in dresses, nice outfits, and that's how I set the tone of my Instagram account at the beginning. And once people started getting interested, once I started getting followers, I literally got scared of not posting an amazing outfit, of not posting, a very stylish look. So I thought to myself, okay, I've set this precedent, the tone is set, I always need to look very classy, very stylish, very glamorous on Instagram. And that was my mistake, because it's not who I am 100% of the time. That's only a segment of my personality, because I also have days when I go out in jeans or have a sporty outfit, or I can look cool and chic without being over the top, overly dressed in a fancy dress, right? And that's how I started seeing that people are only getting one side of me, whereas I'm so much multifaceted, so many different styles. So I said, okay, let me start sharing something more casual, because it was also putting a lot of pressure on me, on myself. I started not enjoying it because I always had to be overly dressed for photos, and it was putting pressure on me not being able to share everyday outfits that are still stylish and people can still connect to and still like. So once, I think it was a couple of months in of me doing Instagram, I decided to post a very nice photo of me in jeans, boots, and just a regular tee. Nothing fancy, but I was wearing jeans. And I immediately got the comment from one of my colleagues that said, oh my God, Mary, that's the first time I see you post a photo like this. You're normally not like that. That's not you. And I said, no, actually that is me. Just because in the office I'm always wearing suits, or in my photo shoots I'm always trying to be that fancy glamorous girl, doesn't mean I'm not the girl that can go out in jeans and have a perfectly chic and cool and stylish outfit. So that's why I said, okay, I don't want to just attract people who will look at only one side of me and like it. I'm gonna kind of spread out my posts and post everyday outfits that I wear as well, because I want to show my authentic self. I want people, normal people to like my outfit and be like, oh my God, your everyday jeans, I have those jeans, I can combine them like that. Give them ideas of what it can be without just limiting yourself to showing one aspect and then thinking you have to stick with it. No, you don't. The only thing you have to stick with is being your authentic self, nothing else. Even if it means like in the middle of your Instagram account thinking, okay, well, I no longer want want to be a fashionista, I'm gonna go into cooking. That's okay. You're gonna lose followers, but then you're gonna gain some more, as long as you're showing your true self. Because believe me, the audience can feel that. And you also feel the pressure if you're not doing what you truly are, if you're portraying something else, to always, keep it going, and it's just tiring and it doesn't give you the growth that you want. And my number 6 would be not paying enough attention to analytics. What I mean by this is, if you're an Instagrammer, you probably already have a business account open, and you already have insight into how your posts perform. So my experience has been that just because I like something doesn't mean that other people are gonna like it. At this point, I already know, I have an idea of which post is gonna perform better than others, just because I've been tracking this for a while. But when you're first starting out, just because you think, oh my god, that's a killer outfit, I'm gonna get so many likes, so many comments and shares on this photo, and so many followers, and it not necessarily may be the case. So there was a photo of mine. I was somewhere in Atlanta, and I took a photo of me just after taking a shower in my towel, and it was nothing special or stylish. It was fun, it was okay, but I didn't think it would be as successful. And then when I started getting so many likes, I looked at the analytics and I was like, okay, well, people in my audience probably like these types of photos, so I may, think about doing more. So this is only if you haven't done anything else different. If you're posting at the same time, you know your peak time when your audience is most engaging. So if you've done everything else the same, but a certain post performs better than another, you need to listen to that, because that's the voice of your audience. And there are cases when I've had a great outfit, a great post, but for some reason there was something about it that people really didn't connect with, and I didn't get as many likes as I expected, even though I posted it at the correct peak time, correct day of the week. And it's just something that you need to start to learn to listen to. Just because you think something is great, or your friends think, oh my god, that's a killer photo, doesn't mean that your audience will respond to it. And you can adjust this. I'm not saying completely listen to what your audience wants, but you can try and make your audience, you can try and make your posts feel more engaging and feel more aesthetically appealing to your audience just by listening to analytics. So don't disregard this tool. It's very useful. It shows you what you're good at, what your audience wants to see, what they're responding better to. But likes are not necessarily always the indication. You can also see the comments, the shares, how many times it was shared. So always make sure you open your analytics, follow it closely, just so you know, and experiment, especially if you're a new starter and you're just starting out now, what content performs better and for what reasons. Those were my 6 mistakes that I was doing at the beginning when I first started to be an Instagrammer. I wanted to share them with you because even though I learned the hard way and I had to experiment and find my way around them, you can now know what to avoid. And these are not your most obvious ones, as I said, the ones that everyone talks about, but hopefully if you're already following those advices, just by implementing these 6 rules, well, not really rules, just these 6 hacks, it can make a difference for your account. It can start growing and hopefully even blow up and get you to that level that you want to be at. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Mwah.